In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most diverse and fascinating groups of animals on the planet, the antelope. From the huge open plains of Africa to the steppes of Asia, these creatures have developed some incredible ways to survive. So, what exactly makes an antelope an antelope? Well, let's just say they're probably not what you think they are. You know, at a first glance, it's so easy to mistake an antelope for a deer. I mean, they've got that similar graceful look, and they live in similar places. But if you look really close, right at their heads, you'll spot one permanent defining difference that sets them completely apart. And it all comes down to this: horns versus antlers. See, an antelope has permanent horns. That means they have a bony core that's covered in a sheath of keratin, yet the same stuff our fingernails are made of. Deer, on the other hand, have antlers, which are pure bone. They're usually branched, and here's the crazy part: they actually fall off and are regrown every single year. Okay, so horns aside, what officially makes an antelope an antelope? Let's dive into the biology a bit. So, antelopes are mammals that belong to the Bovidae family, which you might be surprised to hear also includes cattle, sheep, and goats. They're even-toed hoofed animals, and they're what we call ruminants. That's a super cool way of digesting food, where they chew it, swallow it, and then bring it all back up to chew it a second time. And that family is incredibly diverse. I mean, as of today, scientists recognize 93 different species of antelope, and they come in this just astonishing range of shapes and sizes. And the size difference is truly mind-blowing. On one end of the spectrum, you have the teeny tiny royal antelope, which is only about 25 centimeters tall. That's about the size of a rabbit. But then on the other end, you have the massive giant eland, which can weigh over 900 kilograms. It's bigger than some cows. So, we have 93 species. But where in the world do they all live? And maybe more importantly, what's their status out in the wild today? Well, the vast majority of antelopes call Africa home. You can also find a smaller number of species spread across Asia and the Middle East. And here's a fun fact for you: the pronghorn of North America, it looks a lot like an antelope, but it's actually not a true one. Now, this is where the story gets a bit more serious. Their conservation status varies dramatically. Some species, like the impala, are doing great, with populations over 1 million. But for others, the picture is pretty grim. Species like the Dama gazelle are critically endangered, and tragically, at least 3 species are already extinct, gone forever. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at the daily life of an antelope. From what they eat to how they raise their families. Their life cycles are just as varied as their sizes. Some might only live for about 3 years in the wild, while others in captivity can live for over 25 years. Pregnancy can last anywhere from 4 to 9 months, but one thing is pretty consistent: they almost always give birth to a single calf, which is a huge investment for the mother. Being herbivores, their whole diet is based on tough plant matter. And by eating this stuff, they convert energy that would otherwise be walked away into a food source for countless predators. This makes them an absolutely crucial link in their ecosystem's food chains. Their social lives are just as diverse as everything else about them. You've got animals like wildebeest who form these enormous migrating herds of thousands to stay safe out on the open plains. Or but you have others, like the forest-dwelling dukers, who prefer to live all by themselves or in small monogamous pairs. So you might think in those big herds there's one chief in charge, right? Well, not exactly. Instead, the males often compete with each other for dominance to win the right to mate. The males who don't win might form their own bachelor herds, just hanging out until they're strong enough to challenge for a territory of their own. Life out in the wild is this constant game of survival, a balance of risk and reward. So, who are the antelope's biggest threats? And on the flip side, do they have any allies? Being such a key herbivore means that antelopes are on the menu for a who's who of the world's top predators. We're talking lions, leopards, hyenas, cheetahs, and wild dogs. Even huge pythons will prey on some of the smaller species. It is a dangerous world out there. With a world full of dangers like that, you have to wonder, do they have any friends? Do they have any allies? Well, it turns out they sometimes form some of the most fascinating partnerships in the entire animal kingdom. You bet they do. During the Great Migration, wildebeest and zebras had this brilliant partnership. Because zebras have an amazing memory which helps guide the migration route, while the wildebeest use their fantastic sense of smell to find water and their hearing to detect predators. They're so much safer together. Okay, just when you thought these animals couldn't get any cooler, let's run through a few quick, amazing facts that really show how incredible they are. Alright, fact number 1. The gerentic, also known as the giraffe antelope, actually stands on its hind legs to eat leaves from high branches. Number 2, some duikers are actually omnivores and will sometimes eat insects and even small birds. Number 3, the saiga antelope has this wild looking nose that warms up freezing air in the winter and filters out dust in the summer. Number 4, the giant eland can leap over 2.4 meters straight up into the air from a complete standstill. And number 5, the popular sneaker brand Reebok, it's named after the gray Reebok, an antelope famous for its incredible speed. How cool is that? Their incredible diversity really just goes to show how adaptable life can be, with every single species perfectly tuned to its own environment. Protecting all these different habitats is really the only way we can make sure these amazing animals have a future. All right, that is it this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.